Hi, Bob Paskins here, sales consultant and creator of the Growth Matrix, where we elevate salespeople and sales processes to achieve desired growth. In today's Sales Tip Tuesday, we're going to discuss maintaining urgency in the buyer's mind. This can be found in the motivation component of the Growth Matrix. I want to share with you a story of a friend of mine named David. See if you can relate to this scenario. David was having a problem. He had made a proposal to a prospect. This proposal would be to change out the current provider's IT system and replace it with David's. The buyer was interested and knew that a change needed to be made to upgrade his outdated system. But the buyer pushed David off, stating he would address it again at the next quarter, and asked David to call him in another 90 days. This happened multiple times to David. As you can imagine, David was frustrated. He lamented that he wasn't sure if the buyer was ever going to be ready to commit to upgrading their IT systems. And perhaps David was wasting his time. I offered a different approach for David. That instead of looking forward to solve the problem, maybe he should look at it backwards. David gave me a puzzled look, so I continued to explain. Instead of asking when the buyer would like the new system installed, David could ask, when would you like to have the new IT system integrated and up and running? Then, once you have the date from the buyer, for example, the start of their new fiscal year, David could backtrack from that date to determine when the system would need to arrive at the buyer's office so it could be properly installed, to when the system would need to be built so it could arrive at the proper time, to when the purchase would need to be made to start this whole process. Reverse engineering the sale does two things. First, the buyer is able to mentally picture a date for the new IT system to be up and running. Second, it creates a purchase by date deadline, knowing that in order to have the system in place for the new fiscal year, a specific timeline would need to be followed, allowing for the building and installation of the new IT system. David tried that approach. By setting a date in the buyer's mind and working backwards, he got the purchase order for the IT system and completed the sale. So here's the sales tip. Sometimes if you are stuck with a buyer or the buyer is continuing to push off the decision, look at the sale from the end date and work backwards. This creates urgency as well as a necessary purchase date for the buyer. Here's a bonus tip. If the buyer is still struggling with the purchase, you can ask one of two questions. The first question is, what would change from your current situation when you would choose to purchase the product? Or the corresponding question comes from the other side of the coin. What would happen if you failed to make a decision and take action? What would you lose? So if you or your company would like more information on my consulting services, would like additional sales tactics similar to reverse engineering the sale, or would like a free 30-minute consultation, feel free to reach out to me through my website at bobpaskins.com. Thanks for watching.